Did you use the app ahead of time? Asked Jake, his eyebrows a lurid purple under the Wanchai neon. The engine of a passing truck obscured my response, which was an overly enthusiastic definitely. Totally, man! I tried again, but Jake's gaze had already been hooked over my shoulder. 2 skirts, short, shrink-wrapped, waddled down Lockhart Road in the opposite direction. Nice, he says, and his eyebrows bounce again. We stop at an ajar metal gate, old-school buzzer and keypad, then up a raw concrete staircase, past a nail parlor, past a shop selling fitness products. 3rd floor. A white door on a red painted wall, not a patch missing. Bright and unchipped among squatters. I'm skeptical. Jake is known to bullshit. There's a camera, a smooth sphere submerged in the top left corner, but no buzzer, and Jake doesn't knock. Instead, he says, Abra. And the door opens. And Gal Gadot, from the classic Wonder Woman, standing right there, wearing a translucent black dress, impeccable and unchanged for decades. Hello, gentlemen. Her hands guide us, and she makes perfect eye contact, somehow sinking her gaze deeply into my own. We're immediately in a reception area that looks like a central doctor's office. Small, clean, pert, but with 2 Qingdaos already in waiting. She leaves us there briefly, and I sit up straight, open-bodied, trying to make casual, manly conversation with Jake while he pretends he isn't answering messages on his smart glasses. When Gadot returns, she calls me by name. As we drift down the hall, she asks how work was today. And I find myself answering her, despite knowing that it isn't really her. She smiles, and I'm nervous, and Jake's sniggering back somewhere in reception, so I let my posture go and I ask myself again, what the fuck am I doing here? All the lies I told Jake. It's poetic justice. She cheated on me, and we both know she's shallow. It'll be like methadone. This is what these things are for. When I get to the door, I want to cry. It's fucking awful. Gadot turns to me, and I want her to say something sweet, something caring. Fuck what's in room number 5. I want Wonder Woman to take me by the hand and save me. But her eyes maintain that nonsensical lust, even as the tears start. So I thank her like an idiot and go inside. I told myself that making her blonde would somehow make it all right. Never been with a blonde, Jake. More lies. I Googled, is it healthy after a relationship? But didn't go to any of the links. Inside, there she is, leaning on one elbow, sideways, completely naked. It was all there, down to the way she groomed herself, all those fucked up details I can still remember. She was looking at me and smiling. In the app, they have under options, under advanced, under more advanced, under expressions, I chose smiling like you've just come home after a long week. It looked like that. Like if we lived in a shitty 24-hour Lockhart Road hotel room and not the gargantuan mid-levels palace that didn't stop her from leaving. I sat down on the bed with my back to her. Behind me was my angel. Angela. I knew I had to put the nickname away, but I typed in Angel and recorded myself saying Angel, so fuck it, maybe next time? I'm still staring, eyes unfocused on the carpet, when 2 warm hands settle soft as blankets on my shoulders and begin to massage them. An impossibly warm breath nuzzles my neck, and then she's kissing me, slowly. Her arms around my chest, and it feels incredible, and I'm falling back into her, and then I turn, and it's Angel, and I'm kissing her like we always did. I didn't go down on her. Instead, I was borderline aggressive, desperate, fumbling, clutching all at once. Her skin became warmer. There was a vague sheen of perspiration. It tasted salty, and she felt like a woman. The price tag made sense. I almost said I love you. I was sane enough, though, not to have ticked this stay the night and sleep choice. When Jake showed me the app, he said to ignore the cuddles tab. He said it's stupid and not to be fooled, and I snorted and then later on looked at it anyway. It had so many choices, it was insane. Down to what kind of spoon you prefer. Afterwards, I asked Jake what his looked like. Your wife? Not her, he said. And not just one. Why would I pick something I've already got? When Jake first told me about the price, I joked about whether he got commission. He straight-faced leveled with me, said this shit was our generation's Apple, our fucking esports. HSBC doesn't even have an account with them, Jake said. They own a bank. Of course I came back. I justified the expense by telling myself that I was eating for one now. I read online that it took an average of 4 visits before customers choose someone else because after a breakup, frankly, by then you realize what's not there. But I did my research a little too thoroughly. Found out that on Kowloon's side there was a place that they talked to you. Angela was always a great listener. And now her doppelgangers ran the same algorithms as suicide prevention lines. The rooms themselves were 3-star hotel worthy, but I learned to close my mouth 10 minutes in because the sweat, although salty, had an aftertaste to it. I found my favorite scent, and I made her a brunette again. I stopped keeping track of the real Angel. There was this expose by the SCMP about how over 12% of men are sleeping with a synthetic prostitute whilst dating. Articles about how it's messing with our standards for beauty and companionship. You know what, I'm beginning to think that the heart isn't so fucking profound. It's just something that needs to be taken care of. Like your fitness, your career. Just like with a real lover, you learn things, you change, you form new physical habits with them. In my case, I rediscovered old ones. I checked the stay the night option a lot. I ate simpler food, ignored the stock market. Found the most comfortable part of her belly to lay my head on. You couldn't hear the gurgling. Angel had a low hum, like a ventilation fan. But I was okay with that. It was peaceful. One day, I'm in there, and I'm falling asleep, and I wake up, and I realize that she was never asleep. She wasn't dreaming. Her eyelids were closed, but never moved. They made her chest rise and fall, but that's it. And there's other options, too. There's a whole subgenre of bots which, for a very high price, you can be very, very aggressive with. I'd look down on people who did that. I thought I was fucked up, but you know what? I also thought that if I was physical just once, then I could move on. So I did the unthinkable. Turns out the place was on Lockhart Road. There was a list of do's and don'ts. I stopped reading after one said, it's okay to punch her, but not kick. It made me sick. I think I hated myself and I wanted to prove how much of a scumbag I was. Sure, there were arguments for how it's okay, it's better them than a real person and all that, but this felt different. Inside, I pushed her onto the bed. I had a hand around her neck as I tore off her clothes. And I froze. She wasn't struggling. She was just looking at me with those incredible eyes. I told her, I love you. All of you, in every fucking hotel, every clinic, every euphemism for brothel they have. I finally understood why she left. But I was addicted. I'd go on dates and then recreate the person. I'd pick celebrities, friends, wives of friends. Most people could never afford more than a few nights a year. This was the fucking dream, right? They always said this was inevitable. True AI isn't even within arm's reach, but something about this was worse. It was doing something to me. It was revealing how little I really needed